Welcome to the bold analysis. The recent push by the officials in the IEBC to restart the process of picking the new commissioners is a sinister motive, and looking at what the CEO is saying, it is short of the real need to fix IEBC. Before the next general election, if there is something that needs patience without political pressure, is fixing the IEBC. What am I talking about? The electoral agency is saying they're in deep crisis because of the delayed recruitment of new IEBC commissioners. And in this podcast, I'm going to unravel the intrigues behind the secretariat to get the commissioners. Before we delve deep, let me start first by asking you kindly to help us support Sarah's last challenge. We supported her medication last year to the tune of 1.3 million. And after she was diagnosed with acute leukemia. But this year, a year later, 26th June, we lost Sarah after a long battle with the illness, with the cancer, and she was going through chemotherapy. So the family is overwhelmed, both on the bills, on the last expense, the welfare of the child remaining, and also the medical bill that is still hanging there. So we are asking you, we're just now doing the last challenge. We believe that it will go in a long way, making it lighter, making the burden lighter. The IEBC revealed that its crucial operations have come to a standstill. And the CEO is saying that commission is unable to comply with court orders and conduct by-elections for various seats across the country. We don't need those by-elections. We don't need those by-elections because we must still fix first. The demand, the need to fix IEBC cannot be underestimated. Cannot compare that with the demand to have that by-election. The commission has been without commissioners since January after the retirement of Chebukati and some other two commissioners. Then the forceful ejection of the Cherera 4. Even this story is coming recently after Irene Masit, the only commissioner remained to fight for her name, also allegedly flew the country in haste after it became apparent that her life was in danger. Then IBC is saying they need to conduct 3 parliamentary by-elections, 3 parliamentary and ward by-elections due to deaths and court orders that overturned victory. Now, the commission is expected to gazette winner of an MCA seat in Garissa following a court order after recount of the votes. But all this cannot be done because it lacks quorum. It should not be lost to some of us here that in 2021, the court faulted verification of referendum signatures that was under the BBI process because one of the grounds that Supreme Court argued their case was that the commission lacked requisite number of commissioners, and at the time there were only 2 commissioners under the chairman. Remember, the others were actually joined the commission later. So they're saying apart from that, there is nothing that is going on and they cannot execute their mandate. I still believe. I think those who are sitting in IBC must give Kenyans time and to allow for restructure. What exactly is happening is a selection panel had already been picked And it was in the process of conducting interviews, of even receiving applications for those who wanted to take up those positions. But the process was stalled after Ruto team and Raila decided to have that bipartisan talks. But the bipartisan talks was to come up with the legal framework on the ground on which the commissioners were going to be picked on a bipartisan manner. So that has been what is going on. And I remember one of the demands by the opposition team, the Azimio team that were in the bipartisan talks, is the government side, they called on the government side to stop the process of procuring new commissioners until that is done. And Marjan is saying that the commission risks running out of time to carry out the other activities that should be done, which are currently underway. Now, what exactly is at stake? When William Ruto and the UDA machineries were unceremoniously and forcefully ejecting Cherera from the office because of the last general election, their perception, their understanding was to get a team of their choice. But the truth of the matter here is the demand to restructure IEBC that is not a war that should be lost. If we're talking about the 2027 elections, peaceful elections, and having good transitions, at the heart of our democracy is the electoral body, because that is the custodian of our elective democracy. Cherera, Justice Cherera, Juliana Cherera, Nyang'aya, Wanderi resigned last year after they were really pushed out of office. And Masit tried, but this story is just coming a week after Masit complained about some harassment. This is something I want to just face straight. Political machinations, there is a lot of, this is a strategy. And I am persuaded that maybe some deep state is pushing the secretariat. The commission, the IEBC has two departments. There is the secretariat and the commission. According to the framework there, the structure there, I think the secretariat runs day-to-day activities of the commission. Then the commission works on policy. So most of policy directions is actually done by the commission, but the day-to-day operations is done by the secretariat. And I remember we've been having a discussion in this country in terms of restructure. Who should be on top of the other? Should we have a hybrid where both commission and commissioners, both the commission and the secretariat works in tandem, with both offices running day-to-day activities? Or should we have the hybrid system? I think there is Ghana or Nigeria, where the chairman of the commission is also the CEO of the commission. We must have that discussion, because the truth of the matter is that 2022 elections was bungled, and the likes of Hussein, Marjan Hussein, must allow the country to correct the mess. There are three reasons why this is happening, the push for the IEBC. One of it is the IEBC has been tipped to bring the discussion about the commission so that it can revive the bipartisan talks that collapsed. You know, when the CEO is saying they're in need of commissioners so that they can run their day-to-day activities, this did not start today. We are in July. The commissioners left in February. So between February and now, what has been going on? Have the commission not been working? They've been working, even though they cannot execute quite a number of activities. But this is a trigger that if Marjano Sen will say, you know, we need that commission, then probably the members of parliament or government side will say, let's proceed with the process of picking the IEBC members. And with that, they want to make sure that as Raila heads towards the Saba Saba, maybe the IEBC question comes on table. This is a strategy to bring the IEBC question on table now, ahead of the Saba Saba, because they know they will actually want the Saba Saba protest not to be about the cost of living, but to be about other political issues. I've always been telling you, the cost of living do not have an answer. It doesn't have a solution. And so people will not want, the government will not want people to protest for the cost of living. But they're just bringing this, number one, for reviving the collapsed bipartisan talks, by making sure as people get what Saba Saba, the Azimio side will actually bring the issue of IEBC. Number two, the boundaries demarcation to solve some very complex political equations. There are political equations that, there is a political equation that Uhuru Kenyatta wanted to solve through the 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote by the additional 70 constituencies where Mount Kenya was going to benefit. Now that discussion emerged during the talks on finance bill, but somehow it evaporated. So later in the year, it is also actually the responsibility of the commission to conduct the boundaries demarcation. And that is going to be used critically to create more counties, more constituencies, and then that helps in capitation. So I'm also looking at this, that Ruto is looking at this exercise to happen so that it can divert people's attention and consume the attention of the country. Lastly, it is about the lucrative tenders at the commission. I read the newspaper the other day that there was a proposal that all the ballot boxes to be printed in the country. Now, we have ballot papers to be printed in the country. We have these by-elections that are going on. And these by-elections, if they're to be conducted, there's some tenders that will be given to some consultants there, even those who are going to print the ballot papers. And I think people want quick fix about this IEBC so that these tenders can be viable for grabs. It is not about efficiency, because according to me, it is not a matter of urgency. By-elections can be done. The other commission conducted by-election in Kibera, and I think they conducted Kibera and I think Msambweni, but they didn't have quorum. So on this one, let's wait and see. But I don't believe, and I don't really think that we should be under pressure to fix IEBC, to bring in the commissioners, if it doesn't fall within the larger plan to fix the commission ahead of 2027. Thank you.